All right, guys, welcome back. It's time to talk about the NFL and what your teams specifically need in the draft this year. Ricky, what do the Seahawks need?
I feel like we need to step up our defense a little bit. So for me, I'm going to have to say a first-round pick for a safety, a second-round pick for a cornerback, and then a third-round pick for a middle linebacker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Bobby Wagner is doing really good, but I feel like he's going to need someone to back him up if he gets injured.
Right.
Okay.
Are there any positions that you think that you should be more interested in trading for, over drafting for?
I'm not really sure right now.
Okay.
For me, those are just like the top three we
That's
really
just what
need to
you
do. Yeah.
Definitely. Okay. And for the Bears, we need some more receivers, some better receivers, because the Bears last year dropped over 1/3 of passes thrown to the receiving corps. Generally, it was somewhere around 40%.
Yeah.
They got their hands on the ball and didn't complete the catch.
You
Do not like Allen Robinson, though?
No? I mean, he's all right. No, I shouldn't say that. No, Allen Robinson is all right. Or they just need to get better at their jobs.
Yeah.
Can you just clown me?
I mean, he made the Pro Bowl.
Okay.
I mean,
no, and I'm just... Okay.
Allen Robinson's made like 2 Pro Bowls and he ain't had a good quarterback yet.
I would say he's the very.
I'm not.
I would say he's the shiny part of your offense.
Okay, exactly.
I'm not saying-
But you're just saying
in general, we just need...
yeah,
for
the rest of the guys.
All I'm going to say is you can have the currently suspended Jaron Brown if you'd like.
No thanks. And then also something that would be nice is not our offensive line isn't terrible, but I would like to see them get better. Just give Mr. Trubisky a little bit more time, give him some better guys to pass to, because he is a good quarterback.
He's not bad. You just need to change your offense to fit his style.
Right.
They're trying to put him into what they want to do. They need to ask him and get his opinion on what he wants.
And 2 years ago, they were doing pretty good whenever they made it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
But this year, the offense was looking just weird.
You're indecisive about letting your quarterback, one game he'll throw 40 times, one game he'll throw 10.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then also, pick a running back.
Right. You don't like dual
I just think Cohen should be changed to slot receiver.
Just do that instead.
Right, because he could be like a Debo Samuel or like a Curtis Samuel.
Or just do what the Patriots like to do. Only Cohen's a better runner than White is, so you can still leave him in running plays to get the defense, trick him a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
But Montgomery should be your main back, and then Cohen should be what you bring in for special situations.
Okay.
But he can still run.
He can still, and he can still play in the slot.
It's just
too.
if one of them's cooking and the other one's not working, run the one that's playing well. That's all I ask. When Montgomery has 8 carries for 140 yards, and then Cohen has 26 carries for 28 yards.
Yeah.
Right.
How is that a good stretch?
And they both have their own individual games. That's why I didn't suggest that we get any running
You
back.
can even do things where you run 2 backs. You could shotgun 2 backs.
Right.
You could fake to one, hand it to the other, and if you do that, you can run Cohen in the slot like Christian just said.
Right.
So.
All right.
Who would you have to have?
Yeah, Jake. So
for your drafts?
what do you think the Chiefs need?
So the Chiefs just won the Super Bowl.
But what?
The main thing is still the defense. We need to shore up that secondary, especially if Thornwell's out with that ACL injury. So it's gonna be a good part of the season, maybe the first few games. Matthew's fine, Breeland's fine, but it doesn't hurt to have 5-6 corners. Corners and D-backs are like the receivers of the offense. They can't run every single play. You need backups. Shore up the D-line, inside linebackers too. I know they picked up Suggs, but that's not a long-term.
Right.
That was a short-term solution.
Right.
That's not a long-term thing.
Yeah.
But also, there's questions at receiver too. They might not want to pay Sammy Watkins.
Yeah.
And who's the other one? Robinson. He might want to get a bigger paycheck. You can let those 2 go. And with as deep as this draft is, if one of those good receivers is left late in the first round, the way they did the defense this year for the most part was picking up free agents.
Right.
So why don't you just worry about the free agent defenders who can contribute, whereas an unproven rookie might not. But if you can get a receiver with Mahomes passing to him, if you can pick up one of the, you're not going to get one of the Alabama receivers. They're probably all going to be gone before you get to the last pick of the second round. But if you can get one of the LSU ones or that one really good one from Colorado, and there's 8 good receivers. So that they said are going first 2 rounds. So someone doesn't need a receiver, they're not going to pick them. There's going to be good receivers for at least
true.
the first 2-3 rounds. So if you want to just shore up that offense even more,
Right.
I wouldn't be mad at it. But I think the rest of the draft, focus on defense. Maybe, if there's a good lineman on offense, pick them up too. You
Right.
can never have enough linemen.
Right.
Yeah,
Speaking of receivers, well, there's actually one more thing I would say we would probably need since Tyler Lockett is now 27. He's getting to the
In his prime.
Yeah, he's in his prime, yes, but at the same time he's going to be getting older.
He's about to leave it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to say we're also gonna probably have to draft or maybe even trade for a receiver to kind of back him up a little bit.
Yeah.
Get some young talent.
Yeah.
I was going to ask really quick, Jake. Do you like the Chiefs' apparent game plan to fall behind by a couple possessions and then come back? I mean, do you find that entertaining?
We have the greatest quarterback of all time. It's not that big of a deal.
You don't care? It's fun.
I mean, he can legally say that because he just won the Super Bowl.
First 2 years, MVP, Super Bowl MVP, and a championship.
Exactly. So
He's not. I'm not trying to get into that argument.
You're allowed to
Yeah.
But I'm saying,
not yet.
if we're talking starts of careers,
Right.
He's high.
don't
He's
think
one
I've
of the
seen a
hottest.
better one.
He's high.
But
Yeah.
by technicality, I would have to say Patrick Mahomes is going to be the greatest of all time.
Okay.
Okay. You're allowed
I would
to
say-
He's on the
Potential.
path.
Yeah, he's
I
on
would
the path.
say complete package. Don't think I've ever seen anyone who has the ability to be the greatest of all time.
Okay.
Right.
Like, obviously, he's not in Montana, and I know you hate Tom Brady, but Tom Brady level.
Right. Okay.
I just don't like
All
that
right.
cheese.
All right, Cal. What does Carolina need in the offseason?
Yeah. So, if I
was
was the assistant general manager,
hypothetically.
Bro, you're not getting that job. Let it go.
well, I think that we do have all of our playmakers still intact. I think we maybe need like a tight end, obviously, since Greg Olson's gone. But I'm not sure about our future of the defensive linemen and corners. I know our Bradbury's looking for $15 million a year. I don't know if we want to pay him at this point, which he's slowly been considered a decent corner, at least like coverage wise. Do we pay him or not? That's kind of a 50-50.
Yeah.
But the defensive line, we had K'Wan Short, who we might let go. We had Gerald McCoy, who we might let go. Like, there's a bunch of old guys on our D line that we might let go, might stay for a year or two, stick around. Kind of also depends on if Cam's sticking around. So that being said, I think we should draft offensive linemen round 1s and 2.
Okay.
You need to start protecting your quarterback. That's just that. Like, you need to start protecting your quarterback.
He
There's no
wouldn't have
way
been
out.
out for this year if you
Right.
would have had a good line.
Right. Having said that, if there is a special middle linebacker round 1 or 2, we get him. Like, just like we did with Kuechly, like, we didn't necessarily, we had John Beeson, and I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
But then you've seen, like, how special he was from the jump.
Yeah.
He stole Beeson's spot in 4 games.
Yeah.
Like, and that's impressive. That's what I'm saying. So if there's that special guy, you go ahead and take him. If not, just offensive lineman. Let's shore up our O-line. Let's at least make sure our offense can sling the ball. Like, that's kind of what I want to see. Like, I know our defense isn't going to be that good this year with Kuechly, leaving.
Yeah.
And like I said, like, there's a couple veterans that might be gone too to free agency.
What pick do you guys have?
I believe we have like the 8th or 10th.
Yeah,
something like
I mean-
that. I think it's 8th.
I agree with you on the O-line thing, but like if someone like a Jerry Jeudy or something falls that far, I think you just take him. Like, it's one of those things like...
Maybe, but I'm just saying, like, our playmakers
Team-
are there, though.
Yeah. Well, no,
Like-
I'm saying like team need, but like a generate, like Jerry Jeudy might have been just the, like, I know he's playing college.
Right.
And it's a controversial thing to say, but he might have just been the best receiver in football last year.
Right.
Not even just
Right.
college.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the NBA where I go back and forth. Like, I get team need issues,
Right.
and like if there's a good offensive lineman there, you take him. I agree with you.
Right.
But sometimes you might not even need the guy.
Yeah,
It's
but what
like,
I'm saying
just
is,
take him.
yeah, I can get Jerry Jeudy on my team, but how many times is Cam going to get sacked before he can even pass the ball?
That's
to
true.
him?
That's true.
And if we can pick up an off, I know like there's that guy, the left tackle for the Rams, Whitworth. I know
Yeah.
he's like available. Like, I know a couple older guys are available if we are still trying to keep Cam.
Yeah.
But
Sounds like a couple of them Cowboys.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. There are available free agents,
If
but
you're
like
picking up-
I'm sure they're wanting to get paid.
If they're
though.
gonna pay Dak,
so the
how are they doing?
best way is to go and do the draft.
I know that you were recently looking at cap spaces. Approximately how much cap space do the Panthers have right now? I'm
They
saying
really don't have-
approximately.
it's around like 30 million. It's
Yeah.
really not that much.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Like
They owe like Kuechly, they owe a bunch of these guys who are gone now some money.
The
So
weird thing about the NFL though is they constantly talk about like cap hell, teams are cap hell,
Yeah.
but like they still find ways to keep their players. So it's like,
right.
is there really that big of an
Right.
issue with cap?
Right.
All right.
Anyway, going to my third round and pretty much third through seventh, we get some D linemen. We've always kind of done that anyway. We find a couple of guys who work for us for at least 4 to 5 years, and they're pretty decent, like Mario Addison, Coney Ely, guys like that.
Yeah.
I don't want to say the other guy, but
Okay.
Yeah.
but yeah, that's just kind of what I see Carolina's draft going through. O lineman, and like we've literally built our draft like playmaker. McCaffrey, DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel. We got our playmakers. And like I said, I guess if there's a tight end, but there's like tight ends like Hunter Henry in free agency that I think that if we're going through free agency, I think a tight end, like there's good tight ends
Well,
out there
like-
we should go
Yeah.
for.
And like in the past, like guys like Kelsey and Kittle went like, I think Kelsey went round 3 maybe.
Yeah, right.
And Kittle went round 4 or 5. So like
Right.
you shouldn't go into a draft like, oh, let's draft this guy first round. Like
Right.
you can find a good tight
And,
end in the later round.
and yeah, and that's what I'm saying. But at the same time, the tight end is essential for Cam to like succeed,
Right.
as we've seen.
Yeah.
Like,
And once again, Greg Olson, welcome to the Seahawks.
right? Yeah, I mean, we lost our best tight end. Like,
Yeah.
So I mean, even if we pick up someone like Eric Ebron, that's not going to be a bad pickup either. I'm just saying, like, if we go in free agent route, I think we should pick up a tight end in free agency.
Okay.
And then we should draft O lineman. We should draft, like I said, a generational middle linebacker. And then the rest of the draft should be like either secondary or D lineman.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, our defense is just going to be bad next year. There's no.
Yeah, that
I
should
mean,
be, and like especially with a new coach and new coaching staff, like the offense is what it is.
Right.
Like, and having Cam, he can hide some issues, obviously.
Right.
But like if I was a new coach in the NFL, the first thing I would shore up is the defense because defense is way more important than like
Right.
you can ugly win games 10-3 or
Right.
17-10. But if you can't stop anyone, you're gonna have to score. Like
Right. And well, and as you've
even
seen with the
Super
Chiefs
Bowl
this year.
the Chiefs,
Yeah.
you need literally a once in an every 10 years offense to win
Right.
games. So
Right.
Right.
defense is way more important than people like to give it credit.
Right.
Definitely.
So that's just
Okay.
my analysis.
Right. All right. Yeah. Excellent, guys. We'll see you next episode. Thanks for tuning in.